Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be starting a new series of lectures on pre-stressed concrete. Pre-stressed concrete. Today I'll just give you the introduction of this subject, pre-stressed concrete. How this pre-stressed concrete has developed. Okay, so development of pre-stressed concrete can be in short written as PSC. Okay, development of pre-stressed concrete. Development of pre-stressed concrete. Reinforced concrete combines concrete and steel by simply putting them together. Fine, you all are introduced to RCC, which is a conventional method of construction. So in RCC, concrete and steel. RCC combines concrete and steel by putting them together, simply together, right? So what about pre-stressed concrete? Pre-stressed concrete combines high strength concrete and high strength steel in an active manner. So pre-stressed concrete combines high strength concrete and high strength steel. They are combined in an active manner. So what is this active manner? How we are going to achieve this active manner? The activeness is achieved by tensioning the steel. And holding it against the concrete. Thus putting the concrete into compression. This is how the activeness is being achieved. The activeness, I repeat, the activeness is achieved by tensioning the steel, by holding it against the concrete. By tensioning the steel, and again it is being held against the concrete, pushing the concrete, thus introducing the compression into it. Putting the concrete into the compression, right? So the steel is tensioned before, then it is pushed against the concrete. Fine. So high strength steel and high strength concrete is used in PSC. Always we use high strength concrete and high strength steel for PSC. Why? This is because high strength concrete is less liable to cracking. It is less liable to cracking and shrinkage. That is shrinkage cracks. It is less liable to shrinkage crack, and it has lighter modulus of elasticity. These are the properties required for pre-stressed concrete. So high strength concrete is less liable. Talking about concrete, okay, it is less liable to shrinkage cracks at early stages, and also it has got lighter modulus of elasticity and smaller ultimate creep strain, resulting in a smaller loss in pre-stressing steel, right? So this is why we are using high strength concrete. The reason for using high strength concrete is it has got less shrinkage and low modulus of elasticity, and ultimate creep strain is also less. That is why we require high strength. What happens is when you pre-stress, when you tension the steel, there will be some losses. So all those losses can be reduced by using the high strength concrete, right? So, and also I said we are going to use high strength steel. So the high strength steel of 1400 Newton per mm square to 1400 Newton per mm square to 2000 Newton per mm square, right? 2000 Newton per mm square. This is the tensile strength, high tensile strength of steel we used. If you remember, or if you can recall your RCC, we will be using maximum 500, 550. Fine. So see here, we are using very high strength steel of strength 1400 Newton per mm square to 2000 Newton per mm square. That is very, very high strength, right? So if initially, suppose if I take 1400 Newton per mm square, if initially a steel bar is stressed to 1400 Newton per mm square, then there will be a large stress in the steel, high tensile reinforcement. Even after you deduct the losses, we will encounter some losses in the pre-stress concrete. So even after you deduct, you will get huge amount of tensile stresses in the pre-stress. Therefore, we use high tensile steel in the pre-stressed concrete, right? So this is how we will be using high stressed concrete and high strength steel. Fine. So minimum between 1400 to 2000 Newton per mm square will be used. Fine. Then what is the principle of pre-stressing? This is very important to understand. Principle of pre-stressing. What is the principle of pre-stressing? So first I repeat the same thing. Pre-stressed concrete is a concrete in which internal compressive stresses. So in general we say internal stresses, but in nature they are compressive stress. Fine. So pre-stressed concrete is a concrete in which internal stresses. So those stresses are compressive in nature. Internal compressive stresses of suitable magnitude and distribution are introduced. Okay, we are introducing it in pre-stressed concrete. In pre-stressed concrete, we are introducing the internal stresses of suitable magnitude and distribution, so that any tensile stresses that are resulted due to external loading can be reduced to a desired degree. Can be contracted to a desired degree, so that the final stresses are reduced. This is the principle of pre-stressing. Why we are pre-stressing? Fine. So what we are doing in pre-stressing is we are introducing the internal stresses. Those stresses are compressive in nature. We are introducing it, right? So we are introducing internal compressive stresses of suitable magnitude and distribution, so that whatever tensile stresses are coming, whatever the tensile stresses are coming due to the external loads, they are counteracted and they are reduced to a desired degree, so that the final stresses are reduced. So this is how you have to respond for a definition of principle of pre-stressing, right? So what is the aim? What is the aim in the use of PSC? Okay, the aim in the use of PSC. The aim in the use of pre-stressed concrete is to increase the tensile strength of concrete. You know, concrete has very less strength. Okay, so what is our aim? The aim in the use of pre-stressed concrete is to increase the tensile strength of the concrete by introducing an internal compressive stresses, right? So you are introducing compressive stresses which is increasing the tensile strength of the concrete, which is for RCC which is very low, right? So we are introducing the internal stresses to increase that is the aim of the use of pre-stressed concrete, or aim of pre-stressing the concrete. So we are improving the tensile strength of concrete by inducing internal stresses which will be contracting the tensile stresses that will be developed due to the external load on the structural element. Fine. So that is the aim in the use of pre-stressing. Fine. The aim is to improve the tensile capacity, tensile stresses on the concrete. Fine. So RCC member. So how are we going to introduce pre-stress in the RCC member? So in RCC member, the pre-stress is commonly introduced by tensioning the steel reinforcement. Do you remember how are you going to introduce? It is an RCC member only. How are you introducing the pre-stress in RCC member? By tensioning the steel reinforcement. If this is a steel bar, we just pull it, stretch it, right? So by stretching or by tensioning the steel reinforcement, we are inducing the pre-stress. That is, we are incorporating the internal stresses. Fine, right? So if you want me to give one example, you can see shrink fitting of a metal tire on a wooden wheel. Olden days we used to have bullock carts. Okay, those bullock carts wheels those bullock carts wheel, they used to be of wooden. Wheels used to be of wooden, if you have observed it in your villages, right? So over this wooden wheel, there will be one metal tire. There will be one metal tire. Okay, so this is metal tire is fitted on the wooden tire by shrink fitting. It is called as by shrink fitting. I'll explain you what it means is. So whatever is the diameter of the wheel, same diameter steel wheel will also be taken, right? So both the diameters are same. Then the steel is heated. Then it expands. So by heating, you are introducing stresses into it, right? So the stresses will be, tensile stresses will be developed in the steel and it expands. When it expands, we will place it on the circumference of the wooden wheel. Then as it reduces, those tensile forces will be, it will shrink and it will fit. That is called as shrink fitting, right? So another example is, in olden days, people used to have wooden barrels to store oil, to store water. Those barrels, wooden barrels, like this. Okay, those barrels were made up of wood staves, wood pieces, right? So those pieces were held together with a metal band, right? So that metal band they used to introduce by force fitting. Why they used to do this one? Whatever internal stresses are coming from the inside the liquid, those internal stresses will be contracted by the pre-stress that will be there in the steel band. So these are the two examples which gives a proof that pre-stressing concept has been used since ancient days. It is not a new technology, but it was there since an ancient time. Since ancient time, right? Now, before we go to the subject, we are supposed to know some terminology, because it is not like RCC where the terminology will be same common, like cement will be called as cement, steel will be called as bars, right? Here we have some special terminology that is to be used in pre-stressed concrete. So few terminology we are supposed to understand before actually entering into the subject. Okay, so first is tendon. What is tendon? Tendon is not a simple bar, steel bar. It is a stretched element. It is a stretched element used in concrete member. It is a stretched element used in concrete element to impart pre-stress to the concrete. Right? It is a stretched element. Concrete tendon is a stretched element. It is a stretched element used in concrete members to impart pre-stress to the concrete. Okay. Generally, high tensile steel. Already I told you 1400 Newton per mm square to 2000 Newton per mm square. So high tensile steel wire bars. Okay, wires. High tensile steel wires, bars, cables or strands. Strands means very thin like thread. Okay, so very high tensile strength steel in the form of wires or bars or cables or strands are used as tendons. Tendon is not a simple bar. It is a stretched element which is used to impart pre-stress to the concrete. Okay. Then comes second terminology which you should know what it is. It is anchorage. It is anchorage. It is a device. Okay. I'll just try to draw one figure, plan of one figure. Try to understand. Okay. There are circular holes in it. Like this. This is a device. Anchorage is a device which is generally used to enable the transfer of which is used or which is used to enable the tendons to impart and maintain the pre-stress in the concrete, right? I'll just tell you again, it is a device, okay? It is a device generally used to enable the tendons to transfer and maintain the pre-stress in the concrete. So what happens is, suppose these are the holes. In these holes, suppose I am using steel bars or wires as tendons, then those wires or bars will be tightened in these grooves. Will be tightened in these grooves on both the sides. It is not a one here, like the wires will come like this and there will be another anchorage. So these are the devices which are used to impart the pre-stress and also to maintain the pre-stress in the concrete. Fine. So you can just see the images in the Google for how the anchorages actually looks. Fine. So they will have holes in which we will just fix, we'll place the wires or high strength wires or high strength steel bars and then tighten it so that when we stretch it, the tendons or the wires are pre-stressed. Fine. So this is the two terminology which we should understand. Tendon is a stretched element, it is not a simple wire, and then anchorage is a device which is used to transfer the pre-stress. Okay. Now coming to the another terminology called pre-tensioning. Pre-tensioning. So what is pre-tensioning? It is a method of pre-stressing. Okay. So I said we are going to impart pre-stress to the concrete. So the method, it is a method of pre-stressing the concrete in which the tendons will be tensioned. In which the tendons will be tensioned before the concrete is placed. Pre-tension. So tendons are priorly, before the concrete is placed, they are tensioned. Why we are tensioning it? To impart the pre-stress to the concrete, right? So it is a method, pre-tensioning is a method of pre-stressing in which tendons are pre-tensioned. Tendons are pre-tensioned before the concrete is placed. Okay. In this method, pre-stress is transferred to the concrete by a bond between steel and concrete. Okay. So here in this method, pre-stress is transferred to the concrete by the bond between concrete and steel. Okay, I just try to draw one diagram. Suppose this is my anchorage. Okay, I am going to cast one beam, pre-stressed beam. So this is an anchorage. It is a device. It is a device. We are going to hold the tendon here. Then the tendon is again hold on the other side like this in the anchorage. This will be the anchorage. Fine. So this will be tensioned, means by means of some jack. By means of some jack, it will be tensioned. It will be given some tension before the concrete is placed. So once it is tensioned, then concrete will be poured. So this is called as pre-tensioning. So how the pre-stressing is happening? By the bond between the concrete and the steel. Then post-tensioning. Second is post-tensioning. So the name itself will give you an explanation. So what is happening in post-tensioning is, what is happening in the post-tensioning is, we are tensioning the steel against the hardened concrete. Okay, a method of, this is also a method of pre-stressing the concrete by tensioning it against the hardened concrete. That means first concrete will be poured in this beam. Okay, I am just showing you one example. Okay, so first concrete will be hardened, but this will be left with a groove. A small thin groove will be left over. So once concrete is set, it is hardened, then that steel wire, cable or tendon in general, that will be inserted into that groove. Then it will be pre-stressed against the hardened concrete. That type of pre-stressing is called as post-tensioning. Now here the pre-stress is transferred to the concrete by means of bearing. By bearing. Okay. Pre-stressing is transferred to concrete by bearing. So these are the two methods of pre-stressing. One, before the concrete is hardened. Second, after the concrete is hardened. That is, when the concrete is fresh enough, you are pre-tensioning first. You are pre-tensioning the tendon, then you are putting the concrete. That is pre-tensioning. Okay, bond is going to play an important role there. In the second method, first the concrete beam is. Now we have seen the two methods of pre-stressing, that is pre-tensioning and post-tensioning, right? So not going into the detail, let us move further to the next topic, that is the advantages of using pre-stressed concrete, because nowadays more and more people are approaching to the pre-stressed concrete construction. Okay, so what are the advantages of pre-stressing concrete? Okay, advantages of the pre-stressing concrete. Pre-stressing concrete offers greater technical advantages. It offers greater technical advantages when we compare with other forms of construction like RCC and steel. Okay, so it has greater technical advantages. What there we will see it. Okay, so greater technical advantages when you compare it with the other form of construction such as RCC and steel construction. Then comes within the certain limits, not completely, but within certain limits, a permanent dead loads can be contracted. Permanent dead loads will be coming self-weight of the member. Okay, those dead loads can be contracted. Contracted means can be reduced, not completely but to some extent. That is, within certain limits, a permanent dead load can be contracted by increasing the eccentricity of the pre-stressing force. Okay, one simple example I will tell you. So this is the, suppose this is your cable or wire in the pre-stressing beam, right? So this is the axis. Now you will apply pre-stressing force like this. Fine. So this is the eccentricity. Now if you increase this eccentricity, right, the dead loads can be reduced or contracted to certain limit. So what happens when the dead loads are reduced? The structural element will have lesser cross section. It will become thin. So you can save material, right? Can be saved by using pre-stressed concrete. Material can be saved. Fine, right? So next is, this is the material can be saved. Okay, if not material can be saved, I can write dead loads can be contracted to certain extent. Thus saving the material, quantity of material. Fine. So next, third advantage is PSC possesses improved resistance. PSC possesses improved resistance to shear forces. Pre-stressed concrete possess improved resistance. When compared to RCC, this has got improved resistance to shear forces. Shear or shearing forces. So what are shear forces? You all know it. So it possesses improved resistance to the shearing forces. The reason, due to the effect of compressive pre-stresses. You are inducing internal pre-stress now, because of that the shear resistance to shear stresses will be improved. Finally the principal stresses will be reduced. So this is the third advantage. Then the fourth advantage is the use of high strength concrete and steel. The use of high strength concrete and high strength steel in pre-stressed member results in lighter and slender members. Same thing what I have said. You are using high strength concrete. You can check in RCC also, when you are using a grade of steel 415 and when you are using a grade of 550, then obviously the member will be thin. So because you are using high strength concrete and high strength steel, the resulting member will be slender. They will be lighter. Then that could be possible by using RCC construction material. So there is slender and lighter members are possible. The reason is we are using high strength concrete. Again same thing, money can be saved, material can be saved, not money, material can be saved, right? So these are the 4 advantages. And another advantage is the 2 structural features of PSC which are more important for adopting the PSC. The 2 structural features of PSC, namely high strength concrete and freedom from crack. Right? Pre-stressed concrete is free from crack. That is why we are adopting it. Fine. So these 2 features, that is high strength, use of high strength concrete and freedom from cracks, they will contribute to the improved durability. Durability means for a long run, right? So they will contribute, these 2 features, structural features will contribute to the improved durability of the structure even under aggressive environment, right? So durability means that only when the member is subjected to aggressive environment, it should not deteriorate. Right? It should not deteriorate, but we are using high strength concrete, and moreover pre-stressed concrete is shrinkage free, crack free. This we will learn in the coming up lectures, right? So these 2 advantages will make the structural element durable even under aggressive environmental condition. Okay, so durability, improved durability because of high strength concrete and the additional feature, structural feature of your crack free pre-stressed concrete. Fine. So pre-stressing of, another advantage is the pre-stressing of concrete improves the ability of the material for energy absorption under impact load. Okay, I repeat, pre-stressing of concrete improves the ability of the concrete or ability of the material for energy absorption under impact load. Let me explain this. Okay, so what I am saying is pre-stressed concrete. Okay, pre-stressing, when we pre-stress the concrete, then it is going to improve the ability of material for energy absorption under impact load. So what do you mean by impact load? Impact load, for example, I will give you the earthquake. Okay, earthquake, right? So when an earthquake comes, the building shake, some energy will be released. So pre-stressed concrete will absorb that energy. Fine. When some blasting is done, okay, some bombarding is done during the wars, okay, energy will be released. That is, pre-stressed concrete has the greater ability to absorb that energy. That is also an important advantage, right? So another most important point which blindly we can understand, need not put extra effort, right? That is pre-stressed element, the cracks, whichever will develop. Suppose we got some I am saying pre-stressed concrete is a free crack free material. It won't incorporate the cracks. But what I am going to explain is in PSC elements, cracks which temporarily develops under occasionally overloading. Suppose a member is occasionally, now and then, sometimes once in a while, it will be overloading. So whenever overloading is taking place, a crack may develop, but that crack is temporarily. Okay, it will close up completely by itself. It will close up completely by itself when the loads are removed. You got this point? When the PSC elements are subjected to overloading occasionally, then a crack may appear, but once the load is removed, the crack will disappear. It will close by itself. So that is an advantage, right? Now another advantage is, so 7th was closing of temporary cracks. Temporary cracks, right? So next advantage is due to utilization of concrete in tension zone, right? We are using concrete in the tension zone also. In RCC, you might have seen in RCC that zone above neutral axis is concrete and the zone below the neutral axis is tension. Okay, the above neutral axis is compression and the below one is tension, and we also know that concrete in the tension is not going to play any role. That is how a flange section, T section has been developed. But here we are utilizing the concrete in the tension zone also. So because we are utilizing the concrete in the tension zone, we can save concrete, say 15 to 60%. 15% to 60% of concrete is saved, because we are using the concrete of tension zone also. Fine. So we are utilizing it completely in the compression zone as well as in the tension zone. So we are using it completely, so we can save the material from 15 to 60%. And the last one is the saving in steel. So there is a saving in concrete also, but there is a saving in steel also. Around 60 to 80% is there. Okay, 60 to 80% of steel is saved. So we are using it up to that. Okay, we are utilizing the strength of steel up to 60 to 80%. Fine. Then, okay, every advantage will have some disadvantages also, right? So we will see what are the disadvantages of using pre-stressed concrete. So the advantages are more, disadvantages are few. That is why more and more people are going for pre-stressed concrete. It is not a new technology or a new method, it is quite good method only. Fine. So what are the disadvantages? Right. The first disadvantage is we are saying that there is a considerable saving in the material. Right. There is a considerable saving in the concrete as well as the steel. Of course, there is a saving in the quantity of material. But when you talk about the economy, it is not much saving because we are using high strength of concrete, high strength steel. So additional cost is incurred for high strength concrete and high strength steel. Also, we are using anchorages that also incur cost and other hardwares required for the production of PSC member. This is a disadvantages. Material we are saving, but when you talk about the economy, then we are not saving much because amount is incurred in the purchase of high strength steel, high strength concrete and anchorages, right? And some other setups for the production of pre-stressed PSC members. So that is there. Cost of high strength steel and concrete, then anchorages, blah blah, right? Cost of all these things is more. So economically we are not that much on the advantage side, right? Second disadvantage is, okay, this is over now. Second disadvantage is there is an overall economy in using the PSC. There is an overall economy in the use of PSC as the decrease in dead weight. I said you that because when you increase the eccentricity of pre-stressing force, the dead weight will be decreases, right? So as there is a decrease in the dead weight, that will reduce the design loads also. When the dead loads are reduced and the design loads are reduced, cost of foundation will also be reduced. Cost of structure, I mean to say the members will be slender, overall cost will be reduced, right? So this is a advantage, I can say, it's not a disadvantage. Fine.